Hey everyone, Jenny Ponzeric here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. So, quick rundown of my background for anyone who is new to me. Let's see, school psychology for over 20 years. Nowadays, working as a presenter and a consultant. I help to mentor new hires. I'm also the founder of PSW Monthly and the Prepared School Site community. And today we are talking about executive functioning skills. So, in today's chat, I wanted to talk about when. When do we evaluate for executive functioning skills? And there's definitely something to say, like almost always. For many of our students, executive functioning skills are going to be important for us to take a look at. So, I thought what would be most helpful is like, what are like three main categories or three times that I would definitely be looking at executive functioning skills for my student. So, scenario number one would be students who have had a traumatic brain injury. Why? Most brain injuries involve the frontal lobe, and we know that many of our executive skills kind of live there in our frontal lobes, right? When we think about planning and organizing, a lot of those things have to do with our frontal lobes. So if you have a student who has had any injury that involve the frontal lobe, executive functioning skills will be, in my mind, a really important thing to be taking a look at. Usually very appropriate to check in on whether or not we see any differences, especially for our kids with brain injuries, any differences in executive skills from prior to the brain injury. Another thing to be thinking about then with our kids with brain injuries is that because the frontal lobe is so thoroughly involved, and we know our frontal lobe continues to grow and mature through school age, if your student had a brain injury, depending on their age at the time of the brain injury, this may be something to be constantly monitoring because we might not yet see all the impact because not all of our executive skills we're even expecting to come into play right away. Sorry about the coughing. Yucky, yucky cold. I hope no one else has this cold. It's horrible. It's horrible. Okay, so scenario number one, traumatic brain injury, is always a time that I am going to gather information about the site of the injury, whether the frontal lobe was involved, and if so, definitely going to take a look at executive skills. Second time, anytime someone says the word attention, which we know sometimes people are talking about attention, like attention deficit disorder. Sometimes people are talking about attention and it's due to a social emotional concern. Sometimes people are talking about attention and it means motivation, right? But that is definitely one of those kind of pieces when I'm trying to figure out the why behind these just attentional difficulties, right? A lot of teachers talk about students who are struggling with that executive skill of sustained attention, but a lot of other executive functioning skills are often impacted as well. So, what are some other ones I want to be taking a look at that we usually are? Response inhibition. Task initiation, right? A lot of times when we see attention being an area of concern, we may want to follow up with some of these other related executive skills. Third category, learning disabilities. Now, not every kid with learning disabilities even have difficulties with executive functioning skills, but many do. So I don't want to just wait until someone says that. I definitely want to take a look at, is this something that is also impacting this student here? Especially in cases where I have students that we have questions about learning disabilities, they're performing poorly in class, but they might be doing good on standardized testing. That one-on-one testing academically with the Woodcock-Johnson, the Wyatt, the KTA, but the teacher's saying they're doing so poorly in the classroom. That's one of those moments where I want to maybe investigate those executive functioning skills a little bit more. All right. So, traumatic brain injury, anytime someone says the word attention, which I know is frequently. And then when you have students with learning disabilities, it's just something that I want to kind of have on my list of things I want to examine there. Now, many of you know that I have been providing monthly trainings, and they are open to school psychologists. We have SLPs who've been hanging out with us as specialist OTs. We started back in November, and the last one is coming up this month. At the end of March, on March 25th, we're doing our last training in our series of trainings. And I know most of you listening to this, you've already signed up because we have like hundreds of people who have already signed up for the training series. And I wanted to share that for the last training, we are focusing on executive functioning skills. In 2 hours, we try and make these short and just full of content for everyone. I am going to be covering the what are executive functioning skills, the when, we're going to go a little bit more in depth about when should we be evaluating these skills, and the how we're going to be evaluating those skills. In addition to those pieces, we're also going to be talking about how we can help support students who struggle with these skills. What are some things that you can do in your role, whether you are consulting, whether you are directly providing support for students who are struggling with these different skills? So if you've not yet signed up and you are interested, you can either sign up for the whole series, and because we record everything, So you can listen to this last one live and then get access to all of the previous recordings, those replays. Or if this is the only one that interests you, guess what? You can just sign up for this one. All right. And if you can't make it live, because guess what? You are really busy evaluating kids and providing direct services and providing wonderful consultation to your schools and your families, guess what? We are recording it. So you can sign up for it. And if you're not able to hang out with us live, you can listen to the replay at your convenience. If you are interested, head over to my website. It's just my name, jennyponzurek.com. Right there on the front page is information about these trainings, and you can sign up right on over there. If you have any questions, so many different places on my website to ask me a question. Either myself or someone from my team will respond to your question. So feel free to throw any questions out that you have. All right. Those of you who already signed up, I'm so excited that this is our last training topic. I love talking about executive functioning skills. I've been working on these training materials, so I am like really pumped up for this last training, just a couple weeks away. All right. I will see you guys all soon. Bye, everyone.